I really wanted to enjoy this movie so bad, but I left the theater feeling extremely underwhelmed. Before I hamper down on all kinds of negativity, I just want to start with saying what was good about the film. This is Alicia Harris's directorial debut. It won the 2018 Obie Awards and is critically acclaimed. The premise of the film is extremely compelling. Twin sisters scarred by childhood fire set by their father and are summoned by their estranged mother to hunt him down and exact revenge. It blends mythic odyssey meets Western aesthetics meets Afro punk sensibilities. Harris clearly has a strong theatrical imagination. I particularly enjoyed how the twins were characterized. They have a certain way of communicating with one another, and I loved how she was able to externalize the intimacy of twinhood while emphasizing their fractured inner worlds. I thought the performance by the cast was pretty good. I especially loved Kara Young's performance, one of the lead actresses who plays Racine, aka the rough one. I enjoyed the way that she was able to express rage and tenderness at the same time. She was felt very unpredictable and very lived in. Despite the film's conceptual ambition and flashes of invention, I think Is God Is struggles to do what a lot of stage play to screen adaptations suffer from, which is they often rely on exposition rather than dramatizations, right? Characters tell us about their pain instead of allowing us to witness how that pain shapes their behavior. The reason for this is that theater is inherently abstract. On stage, language carries a lot of psychic weight. So when a character is soliloquizing about their trauma or their pain, we can easily accept that kind of storytelling because that is what the medium asks us to do. Filmmaking, on the other hand, is a different beast on its own. It doesn't really rely on language as much as onstage plays. It requires a lot of visual proof. On stage, the audience can collaborate with the actors imaginatively, but on film is a lot crueler. Film demands proof. It wants behavior, image, contradiction, action, not explanation. I feel like Is God Is has a habit of announcing trauma rather than dramatizing and showing us the consequences of that trauma. Now, this is where I'm going to get into spoilers, so please click away if you haven't watched the film. So here it goes. The revenge plot does not feel earned. Okay, the core story is that their mother tells them to go kill their father. They basically agree immediately. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm asking, why? Why risk your life for a mother you barely know? Why commit murder for someone you haven't seen in years? The movie never fully earns this choice, and that's why the revenge engine feels hollow. And this problem is compounded by the split dynamic between the sisters. Racine, the rough one, is fully committed to vengeance, while Anaya is ambivalent from the start. And she's repeatedly asking questions whether they are being manipulated, whether killing their father would solve anything. And her skepticism is entirely reasonable. In fact, she voices the exact questions that the audience is likely asking. Like, why can't y'all just go get a job? You guys literally just met this woman today and you decided to go on this revenge plot to kill a man. It becomes difficult to invest in a revenge plot when one of its protagonists is unconvinced and the film offers no compelling counter argument. And this is specifically disappointing because Harris frames the story as mythic, and mythic journeys depend on trials that force transformation, and every obstacle should challenge the hero's identity and expose some deeper truth about their internal conflict. The mythic obstacles that the twins face aren't actually obstacles, right? This is supposed to be an odyssey, and that means that every encounter should transform the main characters. For example, the fanatic Christian cult leader who once loved their abusive father introduces a very fascinating idea, the idea of the deification of destructive men within patriarchal systems. She has built an entire belief structure around him and has also raised her son to worship him, which I thought was like psychologically and the thematically rich, but she doesn't force the twins to grapple with the seductive power of patriarchal reverence. Rather, she just feels like an informational checkpoint. It feels like she's just there for comedic relief and nothing more. She doesn't add anything substantial to the evolving identities of the twins. Similarly, I would say the same thing for the awkward scene with the lawyer. He is supposed to be like this gatekeeper who tests whether the twins are truly prepared for what lies ahead facing their dangerous father. But really, he's not that much of an obstacle because Racine, the rough one, clubbers him on the head, and he's like, "Oh, here's the address. Here's where he lives." And then they go on about their way, and I was just like rolling my eyes so fucking hard. Like, why is this happening? Why are we here? What is the purpose of this? I feel like the lack of real challenges undermines the larger thematic potential of this film. I feel like beneath the revenge plot lies a much more compelling story about male worship within the Black community and the ways that abusive masculinity becomes mythologized and protected.